96.9 FM. Fresh news, smart talk, all day. The views and opinions of the hosts and guests are their own and do not necessarily reflect the position of the management and staff of Guardian Network.
La 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 la. La 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 la. La 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 la. Oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah. I represent Bahamian people. I from Nassau, Bahamas, big up Bintan, bro. Boy, I from Bintan, bro. Right between West and Augusta, where them two roads meet, they call it Wilkinson Street. Manners and respect was like a sign blank check. It seems the ones that come in after quick to disrespect. You see, this life in the ghetto never easy. So many hungry days break till it grieve me. But I doing the best I can, trying to turn my dollar to 100 grand. I represent the ghetto people. I from Nassau, Bahamas, big up Bintan, bro. Boy, I from Bintan, bro. Don't take no back talk, no bribe or no joke. If you find fire, you definitely find smoke. Bintan, bro. Boy, I from Bintan, bro. Bintan, I say up and running. Caliban say my show, boy, don't ever give in. 7 years of farm and watch the crops them coming. True they see a humble thing, the lion sleeping.
Good night, Bahamas. And welcome to Guardian Radio 96.9 FM. It's a pleasure to be your host tonight on this wonderful Friday. I'm your host, Valentino, host of the talk show Inside the Inner City that premieres every Friday at 6:30 to 8 p.m. on Guardian Radio 96.9. Telephone numbers tonight are 323-6232, 325-4316, and 325-4259. And you can text us, powered by BTC, at 422-GR96. And I think we're on Cable Bahamas. You can listen in at 969. And hope you enjoy the show tonight. We have had an outstanding guest that who have been requesting to come on the show for many weeks. We've been keeping them coming and keeping them coming because we want to hear about the good and the community service that many persons are serving in the country. We also want to talk about the many different programs that are really beneficial and are going to be beneficial to the Bahamian people. And as a part of the platform at Guardian, it's my duty to find persons who are qualified, who are also making a difference in their respective venture as to make the country a better place and to help as many people as they can to become productive citizens. And from time to time, we talk about what's happening in the country. And today, you know, there were news circulating in the news and on media, and I'm going to comment on it for a few minutes, not something that I really wanted to have a topic on, but my cousin Dexter, he told me I need to comment on it, you know. And he want me to comment on this issue that is coming up where Belinda Wilson of the Bahamas Teachers Union, President Belinda Wilson, she was speaking on the fact that, you know, she represents the teachers, and there's a lot of information comes to her internationally, and some of the recommendation probably came from around the world, probably to a seminar, and they are talking about should transgender topic be taught to kids in school. And I think that is something that we need to look into. And we're going to have a discussion on that in later after the show. But I have a very special guest in studios who's been doing outstanding community service for over 20, 30 years in the country. Outstanding gentleman. He has his own talk show, but he likes to come on other shows that are reaching other people so that he could get information out so that he and his organization can be able to help the less fortunate, you know, because we got to be able to reach who we can. You know, if we help one, next one helps the next one. And I'm letting him going to introduce himself, and we're going to have a wonderful topic. And in the second half, we're going to talk about should transgender education be taught in our public schools, in our junior high schools. And then we're going to go from there. You might stay in for this too. You might have to stay. I know you might don't want to comment on it, but we're going to...
I will. I'm not sure I would comment on that.
Okay. So introduce yourself.
So I just want to say good afternoon to those of you. Once again, it's a pleasure, privilege as usual to be on Guardian Radio with Valentino Brown. I could give my comments off the bat. I said, no, I don't support it. I will not support it. I'll never support it. About teaching about transgender, I'm a firm believer that God made them male and female. There's no separation. There's no other. So that's my comment, and I am firm with that. I will in no way support it. But even though I share that, I here today, the Ministry of Social Services and Urban Development, Department of Gender, and I emphasize Gender and Family Affairs, Men's Desk. They have a men's coordinator now, Bishop Chadwick James. And so we're planning a program for men. It's actually tomorrow. It's called FLIGHT. One may say FLIGHT. Fathers Learning, Instructing, Realigning Teens. And teens we know is boys and girls. Under the theme, National Men in Unity, Saving Our Children. Each one, reach one. And that's really tomorrow at Tom DeBoyd Grant, right there in Yellow Elder. Most of us know it. Or Tonique Williams Darling Highway, near the A.F. Adley School. And it's absolutely free. The Men's Desk of the Department of Gender and Family Affairs has launched its first major initiative, and a number of men's organizations will be coming together, about 20 of us. And even as I'm speaking, more are invited, but you'll have to provide your own tent. If you're a male organization and you wish to be a part of the initiative tomorrow, you can come out. You can provide your own tent. We had some tents provided for vendors that were already assigned. Okay, example, we have the Transforming Lives, that's my group, and the Uplifting Men. We have Prison Fellowship. We have the Brotherhood. We have GRIP. We have MOT Square, International Men's Day, Street Legends. We have a group as part of the Rasta movement. I don't remember the name of the organization. Okay, all I see here now flyer is the House of Rasta. We have another. We have so many. PAFCA. I got to look up what the acronym means. SL. The Bahamas Neighborhood Watch Council. And so we have a number of organizations that focus on men planning and coming together. There'll be music, there'll be dancing, there'll be singing, there'll be a Junkanoo rush out, there's a karate demonstration, there's a boxing demonstration, there's marching bands, there's choirs, there's health and wellness, there's sporting games, sporting activities, and so much more as we seek to reach out to the men, our teens, in particular, men and boys. We have 50 shirts that we're going to give away to the first 50 men register with their son. Okay? So the first 50 men register with their son. And if you don't have a biological son, if you only have girls, you may come with your nephew. Or maybe if there's a boy that you're mentoring, you may bring him and register, and you get a free T-shirt. And we'll also have some other things that we want to give away. And so this is something we are encouraging persons to be a part of it. There's numerous vendors on board. We want to thank so many of those sponsors who have made this event possible. Everything is absolutely free. We'll be giving out the hot dogs, the hamburgers, the sodas, the drinks, the wings, the chicken wings, and everything. We'll be giving them out free because we wanted those bring men and boys together. And of course, with the food and the drinks, it's only good now while supplies last. So we'll be there from about 12 to about 8, 9 o'clock. But I don't think we have enough supplies to last from 12 noon until then. So only as long as supplies last, we'll be giving out everything free. If you are a lady and you desire to come support your man, a male in your life, whether it's a father, a grandmother, WhatsApp me while I was on Guardian Radio earlier this week, and said she's a grandmother and the fathers of her grandchildren are not around. So she asked me if she can bring them. I said, yeah, sure, bring them out. That's what we want. We're supposed to have a number of other men organizations there doing a number of things. The initiative plan was to teach boys how to change oil, how to change a car tire, how to change a door lock. And so we're still hoping that we can get those persons on board. We sent out an invitation. We sent out an invitation to BTVI And so we're hoping that they also will come and be out there. And also the National Training Center could be there, because what we want to do is reach to our boys. We want to reach out to our men. And so I'm encouraging persons. The weather so far seems to be looking good. And we just want as much men and boys out there as possible. People are talking about what is not happening with the boys and the men. Well, we've stepped up to the plate. We've reached out. We see what's happening in this country, in particular with men, with the violence and what is taking place. And again, as usually, I always talk about, I was at the prison just Monday past. I had a session with about 24 persons in maximum security. And I go there at least 2 to 3 times a week. I need to call it by its name, the Department of Corrections. So, and my next program, I'm running a program for the Juvenile Center. So I have about 14 juveniles at the Department of Corrections. I'll be conducting a session with, if not next week, maybe the week after, sometime after the Easter holiday weekends. And so, folks, while we're talking about all the politics that's going on in this country and all of the other stuff, and we ought to, but we also need to do our part with our men. Every time we open the radio, we hear another young man lost his life, and so what we got to do is reach them. We saw the news about the young man, it's alleged, found with the bullets in his bag, and so we got to continue to reach them. Don't give up, gents. Don't give up. Let's do our part. I'm in the schools too. I'm in the schools talking with them, just like many others. I know, Scrooge, you're doing your part. You're a community person, and so many of us are doing. So sometimes we focus on the negative, but a lot of positive things happening. There'll be limbo dancing, okay? There's going to be a farming demonstration. There's going to be board games. The Rastafarian is providing some food. There's going to be youth drill. There's a group, C.R. Walker, they say a pop band. Mario Ford will be out there giving some clinics for his baseball program. There's Smoky Karate School. The Physical Arts Fight Club Association, so that's PAFCA. There's the Street Legends Mobile Trade School. And so there are many things will be there for the boys and the young men to do. And so I just want to stop there and encourage our boys and our young men to come out tomorrow. If you need any further information, my number is 433-6917. 433-6917.
Wow, amazing. And, Dave, he goes out to make sure that he gives back. So I'm encouraging anyone who's listening, encourage your sons to come out to the event. There's a lot of trades they'd be teaching. This is a great opportunity for them to get their hands constructive.
Right, that's correct.
Yeah, and you said this is going to be...
It's tomorrow, 12 noon to about 7, 8 o'clock at the Tom the Bird Grant Park. That's in Yellow Elder. Just when we pass A.F. Adley School, to the very left, that same park where basketball courts are, volleyball courts. So there'll also be some persons from the various sporting organizations out there also giving some tips about volleyball. Like I said, basketball. Mario Ford will be doing the baseball. There's a group from the Karate Association, and they're trying to get someone from the tennis. But there'll also be somebody teaching you about chess, board games. There'll be backgammon, domino, but someone who does not. He specializes in chess. He want to teach some young men if they're interested in learning to play chess. And so there's an all-day initiative where we want to reach out to the boys and the men. And if parents, if you need some place for your young men to come tomorrow, drop them there. Bring them out, leave them there under our care. We want to organize some events.
Which gentleman with you?
Yes. This is the president of the Men's Desk.
Yeah, let him come in.
Men's Desk coordinator, Bishop Chadwick James. Good, excellent.
Come inside.
Oh, right, excellent, And so, folks, right, this is an interesting organization. And so, I'm going to turn it over to my other two guests in here to share. We have Donaldo from the National Council for Disabilities. Donaldo will introduce himself, and Bishop Chadwick James, the Men's Desk coordinator. So I'm going to shut up. You're not going to hear me anymore.
Okay, this is wonderful. Again, I'd like to say those who in the vicinity of the complex where the programs be held, like I said, get your kids to come out. and you can get some hand-on training because it's necessary to really steer our youngsters in the right direction. We have two outstanding gentlemen in the studios today who are also contributing to the development of the country by providing the right opportunities and programs and to become community leaders. What I've got to understand throughout me growing up and living in the city community is that we need leaders who are on the ground, who are doing programs in order to steer the next generation in the right direction. Many of us are missing, so it's important that persons like ourselves who want to step out, who wants to make a difference in the country, So I just want to keep on encouraging that we need more leaders. Leaders come from all walks of life. It could come with the church, it could come off the streets, it could be politician. You understand? It could be anyone who holds a position of power. A position of power means it could be a teacher, because a teacher teaches 35 to 50 students, not in one class, but in that one semester, she or he actually teaches about 300 students per year. And in a lifespan, there are thousands that goes through her hand. So that's a leader. And each one of those students becomes successful. Either police officers, lawyers, doctors, pastors, whatever, but they pass through her hand. And because the teacher was the one who was educated at first, but she went in the field where she wanted to give back, he or she wanted to give back, and they're able to help thousands. So that's how we reach one. How would you say it?
Each one, reach one. Let Bishop will expand on that.
Bishop.
That's his vision. This is vision.
Okay.
Good afternoon, Bahamas. I just want to thank God I finally get to meet Scrooge.
Okay. Pleasure, Bishop.
I am one of those persons who listen to you almost every Friday.
Wow.
And here you carry on the way you carry on. And I say you are the only Scrooge could do it how he wants to do it.
Thank you very much.
So I just want to say you're impacting. You have every walk of life coming in. And I just want to encourage you.
Yes, so thank you very much.
Don't let nothing or no one stop you.
It's my pleasure. My pleasure, sir. Thank you very much.
And like Brother Dave Willis was saying, we have this organization. I serve as the coordinator for the men's desk, and that is for the Department of Gender and Family Affairs. Now, we've been boasting and bragging about all of the women's initiative.
Yes.
And we pump up saying the woman coming to take over and all this other stuff. I don't subscribe to that. I don't believe that.
Yes, sir.
I believe we've given it away. They ain't take nothing from us.
No.
We went to the schools, but we drop off our girlfriends. We didn't go in the classroom. We send them in the classroom. So when they get out the classroom, then all of a sudden you find out they smarter than us, and it's us who carry them to school. And then when they can't converse with us and have big conversation with us anymore, we get mad and say they will only go with man who could understand them. Yeah, well, we had the opportunity. Also, when we were dropping them, we should have gone in class ourselves.
Yes, sir.
So now we're here to say this, and I have with me Delano Henfield. He's from our disability department. He is a handful of everything. He is slightly hearing impaired, so his speech might be just a little different, and I have to make sure I look at him so he could read the sign language and everything. So we'll be able to do that, and he'll have something to say also. So just Bahamas, just listen out. You have to pay attention a little more when he starts to speak. But he is awesome. He's a remarkable staff, and we give God praise for him. But our initiative this time, the birth of our initiative coming. I'm one of those who serve at the Simpson Penn Center for Boys as a superintendent for the past 4 years.
Wow.
Now, what we would have done is.
And Nancy, hold on. Let's tell the Bayman people what he just said just now. He know what the young people are going through. If he was in charge of the Simpson Pen, he could tell you what come to the Simpson Pen. So exactly. I know where his heart is at. I'm going to say that. Go ahead. Sorry for cutting you off.
Yes, sir. We had a little joke the other day. One of our staff told the other one, be careful how you handle Bishop James. He knows 80% of the murderers. And we had to laugh, but I say, it's not all of that. But when we look at it, we started working with the young men at Simpson Pen. The young men at Simpson Pen, when they came to me raw, straight off the streets and doing all of whatever they were sent there for. But what we did is we transformed their thinking. I don't believe in rehabilitation. I believe in transformation.
Transformation.
Because if you're rehabilitated, you can go right back into your society, your environment, and become the same thing.
Yes.
But if you are transformed, when you go back into your environment, you will end up transforming your environment. And we take the premise from the metamorphosis of the butterfly. The metamorphosis of the butterfly is the caterpillar goes into a cocoon, stays there until it comes out as a butterfly. The difference between a caterpillar and a worm is a worm remains a worm and a worm goes into the ground. But a caterpillar climbs up into the tree and hangs on the leaf until it becomes a butterfly. So that's my concept in transforming young men. Now, once you turn into a caterpillar, you can't go back into. Once you turn into a butterfly, you can't go back to being a caterpillar again.
I understand you.
Because you didn't change.
Yes.
Once a metamorphosis takes place, it's transformation. So when you go when you go into your environment, because of your transformation, you transform your whole environment. So that's what we stand on. Now, as a result of that, I got all of the boys in school. If you're not in school on the outside, and you're now in my custody, you have to go to school. You ain't got no choice.
Yes.
So every boy in Simpson Pen, while I was there, had to go to school. Last semester, last school year, we had BJCs taken, and those boys got A's and B's, and they were not able to do it in the regular school, but they came to Simpson Pen, did their BJCs. This school year, they will be doing BGCSEs for the first time.
Wow.
Once we were able to get the boys to do the BJCs, we forced education. Send us 3 more teachers. So at Simpson Pen, the Penn Pratt School, they got 3 additional teachers to teach BGCSE. So prayerfully, I'm not there now. But I'm praying they continue.
You live in Park.
Yeah, now they'll be taking BGCSEs this term.
At the Simpson Pen.
At the Simpson Pen.
Wow, awesome.
Same boys who couldn't go to school, same boys who didn't do right, we transformed them. And I want to just point out, as a result of that, I discovered fathers start coming out every Sunday to see them. Wow. Fathers, about 90% of the boys at Simpson Pen, while I was there, fathers was coming out to see them, along with mothers. Sometimes the mothers missed, but the fathers never did.
Wow.
So I got familiar with the fathers. Now I was transferred. They say the reward for good work is more work.
Awesome.
So they said, as a result of working with boys,
yes, sir,
we did such an awesome job. Now we got to deal with men. So now we have to transform men. And while I was looking at that, we just said, well, you know what? I'm going to start with the fathers of Simpson Pen. And I pull those fathers and I point out to them, listen, we need to make a difference. And they came to me, they said stuff like, I want to follow my son. I want to help my son. But the street's speaking louder than me because I can't articulate it well.
Yeah.
So my job was, you know what? We're flirting with life. We're flirting with problems. We're flirting with situations. So why not transform, back to that word again, flirt. Flirt is an acronym. Fathers learning, instructing, realigning teens. So we cease flirting with everything else. We now have to realign our teens. We now have to get our teens back together, get them in order. As a result of that, then we started to work with them, and other male organization came to come see about it. Now we're in partnership with at least 20 to 25 of the male organizations now join up with us.
Wow.
Hence, we are looking at our program for tomorrow, the 1st of April. I know a whole lot of stuff going on, but I'm not quite sure what all will be happening. But I do know one thing.
A lot.
At Tom the Boyd Grant, we're going to be at that park on Harold Road. Well, there's no longer Harold Road. Tony Darling, that to tell you how old I am, Scrooge. That to tell you how old I am. It's going to be out there, and you have to come in through Yellow Elder entrance, but we're going to have a whole lot of stuff going on. And just to give a list of what all that we know. Bishop. What all confirmed. I hope I'm not talking too much.
No, go ahead, Bishop.
All right, Bishop. All right. So we're gonna have Mario Ford baseball camp. Now Mario Ford is from Windsor Park in East Street. Yeah, and I grew up through Darling Lane.
They have some of the best stew fish.
Darling Lane was named after my grandfather, Jayford Darling. So I grew up through that corner. Wow. And so that area was that's my landmark. So Darling Lane, Windsor Lane, that's the whole stomping ground there. Then you have the Rastafarian movement. I heard him while I was coming. Yes. I heard Brother Dave telling us all of what's happening. But I just want to kind of reiterate, they're going to do, not only will they be doing drumming, but because tomorrow is their Sabbath also, they'll be doing a little ceremony to show the nation what the Rastafarian movement is about and all of that stuff. And then you have the drum solo by Taran Knowles and Smokey Roll and the karate team from the school. They're doing a demonstration. And then we'll have the official opening by all of the dignitaries. We have about 5 ministers who said they're coming. That's parliamentary ministers who said they'll be there. They're coming to support because you can't miss. If we're going to impact the nation, you have to impact by way of education, by way of security, all of this. Of course, social services under our minister, who is the Honorable Obadiah Wilshcombe,
Yes.
he'll be a part of it too, and then be the MP for the constituency. I think that's in the Mount Moriah constituency. All of those ministers plan to be there, and not only do they plan to be there, we'll have the soft opening then, but it's high class men displaying their crafts. People who young boys who do not know how to change a tire. We'll have men out there showing you how to change tire. We'll have, if anybody, let me see if I can put in a plug here. Anybody want to come, they can come. I heard Brother Dave saying it's free. No, it's not free. It's not free. It's a budget of $30,000. Now, anytime you think it's free, then you're wrong. Somebody got to spend $30,000.
Yes.
Right.
Who's spending that?
And if somebody spend it, if you get something from anybody, you might not have paid for it, but somebody got. So I don't like to say things free.
Yeah, I understand what you're saying.
Salvation isn't free.
Yes.
It costs your whole life.
You have to listen.
If you don't give your whole life, you can't have salvation.
Yes. Yes.
So nothing is free.
Yeah, you're right,
I'm going to
Bishop.
put a pause right there so that you could just... That's your show. This is not my show.
No. So, see, listen. It's the help. And the show is to promote organization, and it's also to reach people. That's why the name Inside Anything and having yourself out here and your team out here is what we want to do, So this young gentleman in here, what's his last name?
Henfield.
And Mr. Enfield. What role does he play in the organization? You talk about this disabled.
I'm going to let him tell you.
Okay. Go ahead. You can hear me? You can hear me real good?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Nice to meet you, Mr. Enfield. And it's good that you surround yourself with such great citizens of the country, Bishop and Dave. And I know that being a part of this organization that you are doing a tremendous job to reach those who they cannot reach. So let me hear your story. Go ahead.
Yes, sir. Thank you for that, sweet citizens today. On behalf of National Initiative for Disability by the Ministry of Social Services and Rural Development, we are providing a lot of assistance for persons with disability in our emergency. We wanted. Sorry,
No, just take it.
Also, I pilot off the Miami of Center Family Bears at Bishop Shoes. Assistance. So we want to encourage our men, boys to our men events. Well, I urge you to all the fathers, all earth's brothers, to please bring your family who are disabled, wheelchair,
disabled,
deaf,
Annie,
blind,
brothers.
everything. To please spread them.
Come
so
out for-
we have a lot of information to provide them.
A lot of information.
Yes, sir. We have our registration form to the federal. So and also we have a start as well. So if you want to start apply, so please bring your passport, national insurance, your medical from the doctor, and your driver's license as well. So we have all our issues ready to fill it out.
And a lot of information out there for disabled people.
Yes. Let me just assist in here. Now you have a lot of folk who park in disabled places and all of that stuff. So that arm of the social services are there to explain to you why you should not park in disabled spots.
Yes.
And then you have persons who are disabled, but they don't have the disabled sign or paraphernalia. So they have to come to the disability at social services to get these things. And that's why he said to register with your all of your IDs and everything. The reason for registration is we are trying to find out how many people that are disabled, and not just find out those who are disabled, but the disabled who need assistance.
Wow.
And because they're not registered, they can't get assistance, and then they complain about the government isn't trying to help. But that's because they're not registered. And back to our men, we complain that nobody's assisting the men, but we're not registered.
Yeah, you're right.
Women's organization can tell you how much they spent last year, how much they spent 20 years ago.
Yes.
But the men just giving, and you don't know how much you spend because you're not registered. So that's why we're asking every man, when you come out there, you register. So that when we even report to United Nations on what's going on in the Bahamas. So when we go to New York and have to report to United Nations that in the Bahamas, there's this amount of disabled men. There's this amount of disabled women. There's this amount of young men who are incarcerated. There's this amount of young men who are doing an excellent job. But we cannot report that because only the police reporting. Okay. And what the police reporting? The crime. So that's why we have these men who are now signing up. Every time we have a meeting, every Thursday night when we have a meeting, they have to sign, they have to register. So we could show the consistency of positive men doing something in our country. It's time out for talking. It's time out for just beating up your mouth. The first thing we say in all of our organizations, every meeting we say, men don't talk because men talk. Don't mind talking, but men don't talk. When you see men start talking, they don't stop talking.
Wow.
But a lot of our men are stuck. So we have to unstuck them. Fathers learning. We have to teach fathers now to be fathers. I met my father at age 24. But because my mother taught me so well to respect men and respect fathers, that's how come I'm so crazy about parenting and being a father. So that's why we have to teach men. We have to teach men. We are privileged to have 3 sons. And I just want to say a shout out to my 3 sons, Chadwick, Chadwin, and Chad Vaughn. All named after me, Chadwick, Chadwin, Chad Vaughn.
All right.
And these men, my Chadwick is graduating from University of Dallas in May with his master's degree. Wow. And Chad Vaughn and Chad Vin will be finishing up. They already started their master's degree. They have almost 2 years in their master's. 3 sons with masters. That's what forced me to teach other children that you could learn too. Not that we're so smart, we just put in more time.
Too.
Yes, sir.
Yes, that's what the father's supposed to do. Bishop, you're doing an outstanding job. You know, I just like to say to the disabled persons, if you're male, the information was given to you. You can come get an application. You can sign up. And this is where you could get more information about your disability and where you could get help. Bishop just explained that you say the government is not helping disabled, but he said that many people are not registered. So this is time for you to get registered because the disabled are a big part of our community, and many of Bahamians living in this country have persons who are disabled. And I also want to encourage everyone, please get this information. And if you feel you're healthy and you're strong, please make yourself available to attend this program and to get this information. And also remember that there's a lot of trade given out to the youngsters, okay? And also there's some information given out to disabled. You know, I just want to encourage each and every one of you in the studios to tell you that you're doing the right thing. And there's a lot of negative going on in the country, okay? A lot of negative. But there's also a lot of good going on in the country. And as long as organizations like this organization want to reach persons who need assistance and train them along the way, we are headed in the right direction. So all is not lost. You know, I don't know if you guys want to stay and listen to the show, but you know, I just like to say this. You know, I said we was going to talk about the comment made by Belinda Wilson after the gentleman finished the show, but it also ties into what you said, Bishop, and you talked about training young men, okay, to grow up to be young men. That's what we were referring to. And you talked about your 3 sons named after you and how successful it is with their masters. Right. That's because that was instilled in you, and you push, and you train them, and you take your time and nurture them. And you know that's missing around the country. You know, yes. They said that you know about 80% of the killers who don't mess with you, and that's because of your experience being inside the school, right? How many young men come through there with that type of background, and then you see them transfer to prison, or you see them in the nose charged with serious offenses, and they come to you. So that's why it's so important that we nurture our young men and our females in the country. And you know, Bishop, again, I don't know if you want to comment on it, right? But Belinda Wilson, she is the BUT president, and she made a reference, not saying she insisted or trying to promote it, but as the president, she got information, probably like the CARICOM or the World Health Organization. You know, she's the part of the Ministry of Education, and they want to enlighten people on the should transgender topic be taught in school. And my cousin Dexter, who's listening now, we had a little discussion. At least we had a discussion, and we both agreed that we feel that you should not be able to teach young kids at an early age about something that should not be taught in the first place, because we grow up man and female. And I said, and my cousin said that if you want to go do the operation, that's on you. Mm-hmm. You know, if you decide you want to cut off your penis or you want to move your thing, that's on you. Mm-hmm. And many of them complaining about their health care, so they don't get health care in the country. Mm-hmm. Well, the reason why you're not going to get the health care, because after you do this operation, you're going to need health care, because now you're going to need medication. Mm-hmm. Now, me and you, our medication is going to cost no $1 million or $2 or $3 million. Okay, because when you change your sex, you take medication for the rest of your life. And I'm going to use a scientific answer to those who want to push this particular agenda. Many of the transgender now, sorry.
I've heard that, yes.
They're sorry now that they changed their sex now. Go. I don't, Bishop.
You know now.
Bishop.
Bear in mind.
Go ahead,
I wear 3 hats.
Yes, sir.
Sitting here, I wear 3 hats. One, I'm in charge. I'm the person that deals with. Listen to what I said. Gender. Department of Gender and Family Affairs.
Yes,
That's
sir.
1. 2, I am Bishop Chadwick Lamar James.
What is
I
going to be
represent
interesting?
the church.
All this is no coincidence. He come in studios today, though.
And 3, I am father and husband. So I would only point this out to say, now, I because I cannot speak to those kind of matters.
I understand.
And then I'm not informed as to what Belinda said.
I understand. She didn't say nothing bad.
Yeah,
she just said.
I don't know. See, but the thing is, I still can't go on that.
I get you, sir.
I won't even put you in trouble or put either of us liable. Now, Dave could say whatever he wants to say.
I agree,
even with Henfield, he can't even say anything because you know where we stand.
Yes, sir.
But what I would encourage everybody to know is, no child, this is a personal statement that I'm about to say, no child at any given age as a child refuse or changes their mind about their sex. The thing about sex is there's a difference between the word sex and gender. I won't get into that.
Yes, sir.
But we just hear the word gender. And when we talk about gender equality, if you look at my lapel, I'm wearing a gender equality pin. And that's not gender equality having anything to do with sex. The gender equality that I speak of is as simple as if you have a child out of this country, you name man, and you have a child out of this country with a foreign lady, your child takes on the nationality of the foreign lady. That's gender.
I see. Yes, sir.
And if you have, as a Bahamian woman, her child still have a problem with becoming a part of that man if she marries a foreign nationality. So the equality of gender is, even though a woman might have a master's degree and a man is a good worker, he can still end up getting paid more than a woman with a master's degree. That's not gender equality. That's still off. So you're looking at gender, not sex. When we talk about gender, we're talking about understanding the fairness, the equal side of the story.
50-50.
If you have a master's degree and I have a master's degree, you're a woman and I'm a man. Don't just give the man the high job.
Don't give 70 and give the woman 30.
And give the woman 30.
50-50
Exactly. It ought to be straight across.
So that's gender there.
That's gender. That's when you have a gender mix-up or gender inequality.
Yes, sir.
Look at, for example, the genders in the NBA. The women, WNBA is fighting to try to get paid.
More paid.
The NBA.
Yes.
The difference is, you might say, well, they're being biased with the women and they're giving the men more money. No, that's not bias. The female WNBA isn't packing the stadiums.
It's not full of.
I don't know if you've ever seen anybody wearing a woman jersey for WNBA. No, they don't wear the jersey.
Yes.
But even women are wearing the men's jersey.
Yes.
So even the jerseys are being sold. So that's why you're looking at gender. So why isn't it equal that the men in the NBA get paid as equal, the women in the NBA, the WNBA get paid equal? I just use those examples.
Yeah, that's a good example.
I have to keep it high. You know, I can't get into those stuff.
I don't want you to get all.
Yes, sir.
But let me give 1 or 2 other simple examples too. And like you say, I can speak independent because I operate as an independent ministry. But 1 or 2 examples too, as in the case of washing dishes and cooking. Yes. Whereas we all grew up, also me like 50 plus, we grew up thinking that the washing dishes and the cooking was really a woman's thing.
No.
Whereas the man get the meal and he paid. Right? But when we recognize, as I am educated myself later on in life, and then I realized that the truth is, women do the same thing. Right?
It's a choice.
It's a choice. But we thought that the cooking or the dishes was always a woman's thing, and the man could hammer the nail or paint the house. So that also helped us simplify and understanding this matter of gender. But because I wanted to leave too. But the other thing is I wanted to say, as I've said, and he said they heard me, my view was that for me personally, when it comes to stuff like the transgender, I classify it the same thing as teaching my children about murdering, lying, stealing, and those types of things, right? So in other words, my point is, I feel that I ought to tell you the way God created you. You were created in the image of God, male and female. He made them. You see? So, and it's the same way that I won't go out and tell you, well, don't kill nobody, but if so and so, then you get the right to pick up a gun. No, I can simply tell you how to respond. You see what I'm saying? I can give you the truth, the way it is, the way I know it to be. Now, I understand and recognize that people still make their own decisions. And I must respect you for your decision.
That's right.
And I must love you.
Yes.
So I can sit right. So I can sit in the space
no
and somebody
right
and made a different decision or choice. We can sit in the same space and have a good conversation.
No problem whatsoever.
I have no problem
just
with
to push it on.
Right. Because at the end of the day too, I'm not going to perpetrate violence against somebody just because of the choice that they made.
Yes.
Because then that wouldn't be the Christian way.
Yes.
That is not what Jesus would require, ask, or expect of me. But again, don't seek to enforce it on me. A classic example, I'm not a marriage officer, but then don't try to implement in the law where you now say, okay, well, Dave, you must now marry two persons. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
For me, that's no, but that's my comment.
Yeah. And like I said, I don't want to put the bishop.
Right.
But he
right.
explained gender, what gender is supposed to be.
Yes.
And my comment there is when I listen to Ms. Wilson, right, she did not say nothing bad because, like I tell you, it's international. You know, she's the president. So she sits down with international thing up, and they probably recommended that.
Of course.
And she said out of her own mouth that she is not pushing an agenda, but if we would probably consider teaching the younger kids about transgender. Well, for me, I don't like Donald Trump. Okay, I don't like Donald Trump. Hey, let's just listen to this. Like, I don't like Donald Trump, right? But a lot of stuff he did was very positive.
Yes.
And he hit the nail right on the head. But I just want to play this little flick. Come on, we can play the flick with Mr. Trump. I think that what we're trying to do, right, is we're trying to introduce laws internationally and bring them here in the country. But regularly, y'all close to the show. Okay. So once it's finished playing, regular, you go.
No, I mean, you off now.
Our children are captives to unhinged Marxist educators who are pushing inappropriate sexual, racial, and political material on our children from the youngest possible age. They're not old enough to think. The current education system is so upside down that school prayer is banned, but drag shows are absolutely allowed. Do whatever you want. You can't teach the Bible, but you can teach children that men get pregnant and that kindergartners are allowed to pick their own gender. You can't talk about the Bible. You would not trust these people to babysit your children for 30 minutes, and we should not let them educate millions of Americans to 6 hours a day, year after year.
Well, that's what I'm talking about right there. Now, he talking some truth there. What I'm saying to you, right, is we live in a Christian country, right?
Yes.
And like I say, everyone has their own opinion and their own choices.
Right.
If you decide that you want to do that, that is on you.
That's correct.
Okay? But to raise and make it seem like you're being discriminated against is untrue.
Yes.
You know? It's untrue. But let me let you comment because I don't want to get Bishop involved in this. So let me do with this positive stuff. And then I'm going to hit the last few minutes with this because Bishop gave us a good understanding what equality, what it is? Gender is.
Gender
and I
equality.
agree with that 150%. So go ahead, Bishop.
Yes, sir. I just want to point out now we are here. I'm not here speaking on gender.
No, you're not. No, you're not just speaking on that.
Right.
That's me. That's me.
Let me get my disclaimer out now.
Yes, he's not involved in
the
that.
government is paying me a check, so I have to use common sense.
Yes.
But let me point this out to all of us. We are having tomorrow. That's from 12 o'clock at Tom the Bird Grant, right here in New Providence. Oh, and by the way, I just came from Abaco. Sharing not just this program, but sharing the program of what the men's desk is doing. So I just want to point that out that we impacting. This is going to go all through our nation. We going not just to New Providence, but it's going in Freeport, in Abaco. I already got connected in Abaco so that we can go down there and have the same kind of initiative. So now all of our initiatives will be changing according to the title of it, because it's really basically National Men in Unity. Because most of these organizations that was going on already, these are like Brother Dave here. This isn't something new. Prison fellowship was going on a long time.
Yeah, and y'all save a lot of lives.
Yeah, but and he's doing an extra job. Other than that, he came to me at Simpson Penn and asked me if he could come and do the program there at the school at Penn Pratt. So he has a program going on in Penn Pratt, the school at Simpson Penn, and that's where both the William A. Pratt and Simpson Penn goes to school, and he's there. I think that's every Friday.
Every Friday,
He's in the school system.
Yes.
So we're looking at impacting. And while we are impacting the men, this flirt program right now, for this coming from the Department of Gender and Family Affairs, the male's desk, we're going to have, we want to feed as many as children as they come out.
Yes.
But we're going to need your assistance. I don't want you to think that we're not going to ask you for this assistance. We're asking you, bring your donations, bring your tens, bring whatever you want to bring and share. We are going to take the nation back. We're going to rid the nation of crime. For the most part, let me just give you this big example. Whenever a young man came to Simpson Pen, for example, I'm going to use this big example here. This young man came in one day, and he came in carrying on bad. Because I respect people, I call the young men at Simpson Pen by their last name, give them dignity. I say, Mr. Brown. I call you Scrooge. I will never call a young man in Simpson Pen by an alias or a nickname, never.
Yes,
Anyone who is found calling somebody by a nickname, give me 50 push-ups. And if you answer, it's 25.
Wow.
So the next time you do that, if you call him that again, he now have 100 push-ups, and the one who answers to that name
25.
have now 50. So it keeps growing, it keeps going, and it keeps going. Why? Because that's not your name.
Yes, sir.
And these names, these alias names, you ain't. So I respect them. This young man came in one day, and he was angry when he came in. As soon as they come out the police car, he did have his face all screwed up. And I said, hey, no, go back in the car. This is a guy who's supposed to be running the streets. Go back in the car. So he turned right around and sat down in the car. And the police said, yo, you got to go, I got to go. So when he came out the car, as soon as he came out the car, first thing he says, good afternoon, everybody. I didn't tell him to say good afternoon. He knew when he came out how he came out.
Yes.
So when he came out, after we already processed him, he was able to see all the other boys around. Now, because he know the boys on the streets, he have to keep this demeanor. He big now. So when he carried on bad, he just started running on and making a lot of noise, showing off about what he could do and everything. So I brought him out to all the boys, and I said to him, now, let me ask you this. What you do on the streets? And he said, I run this and I run that and everything. I said, if one of your boys were to disrespect you, what you do? Oh, I'll roll him out. I'll deal with him right there. I'll deal with this. So I listened to him. I said, now, why would you do that? He said, because they need to know I'm in charge. I said, okay, I appreciate your leadership.
No, I'm in charge.
You've now insulted me. What should I do? You, on your turf, you run things.
No,
but I run things here. What do you want? You tell me what I should do. You know what he said? He said, sir, I apologize.
See?
He said, yeah, I apologize because now I understand the streets. I understand the law. And the law is the man in charge, is the man in charge. I say, thank you, sir. I appreciate you.
We're talking leadership.
Yeah, I appreciate you. See, boys are leaders.
Yes.
And the only way you could be an effective leader is by being a great follower.
Yes.
He came calm right down. He said, sorry, sir. Sorry, man. I mean, do it, man.
Are you sending him to the car?
Yeah, of
that
course.
Changes him, when you come back, he say, good evening.
Yes, because he realizes leadership. So that's what we're doing. We're teaching men. This flirt program is to teach men how to learn, how to instruct, how to realign, how to deal with your teens. We're teaching men. Because a lot of our men are stuck. When I say stuck, one of the biggest problems we have with our men is someone offended them at 16. Some daddy left, some mommy left, some man messed with them, some woman messed with them. But they stuck. So now they're 25, now they're 30. But you only looking at a 25 or 30-year-old face.
Yes, but
in that face is a 16-year-old boy.
I always tell them that.
Yeah, so they're growing up.
They're still 16.
They're still 16. They're still right there.
That's why they're making choices as a teenager.
16-year-old choices.
Even though they're saying this man charged before the court, when they look at these guys, they say, boy, he acting like a child. They say, this guy 30-something, he acting like 16-year-old.
Still 16.
Still hanging with the 16-year-old.
You could imagine a 36-year-old man driving around a high school looking for a 14-year-old girl.
He's crazy.
The 16-year-old date 14-year-olds.
Yes.
He sees nothing wrong with that.
Yeah.
He's now 30. And he sees nothing wrong with hanging around a 14-year-old. Why? Because he's stuck at 16.
Yes.
That's where we come in as men.
Yes.
We have to teach these little boys how to become men. And then we have to teach these men how to become men because they're stuck. Yes. That's what flirt is all about. Wow. So I'm going to ask even the nation. I heard Brother Dave gave his number out. I'm going to ask the nation. If you wish to make a donation, if you wish to come out, feel free to come out. My number, you could give me a buzz if you want to donate something. Listen, if we could change the boys, they can start breaking into your stores.
Yes.
If we could change the boys, they can start breaking into your house.
Yes.
So see the urgency. 376-1128. Give me a buzz. Send me a WhatsApp. That's 376-1128. It's Bishop Chadwick Lamar James the First. I'd like to tell you with distinction You go out there and you see these same troubled boys transform. My greatest story, one of my greatest story, is this young man who came there. He was an awful man, awful young man. When he came up there, I was able to just call him by his name. I won't call his name because he was a minor at the time, even though he's older. Yeah. I said to him, I said, what's your name? When he told me his name, I told him what his name meant. He like, oh, that's what my name means. I said, yes, that's what your name means. So it was Emancipation Day when I first talked with him, that whatever year that was. And I said, what is emancipation? He said to me, I ain't sure. I said, no, you don't talk to me that. I told, what is emancipation? So he said, sir, I don't know what emancipation is. I said, you heard Bob Marley say, emancipate yourself from mental slavery. He said, I know that song. I know that song, sir. Mind. I said, but what does that mean? I said, it means to be free. No, I said, when you find out what that means, then I will oblige you. Wow. When he found out what it meant, he came back to me months later, He said, sir, I found out what it means. It means to be free. I said, yeah, when you're ready to be free, let me know. And I'll speak on your behalf. Wow. I'll try to get you out of here. He said, what, you could do that? I said, yeah. I could talk to the magistrate and say to the magistrate, let's see what we could do about cutting down his sentence. Because once you start to be transformed, I could say to the magistrate, have this, let's see what we could do. The young man, he got out about a month earlier. A month early. When he got out, I went to him. He turned 18. After he turned 18, I went to him. I carried him with me. I said, come go with me to a speaking engagement. Carried him with me to a school. The young man spoke to these boys. They were having a seminar. He spoke to these boys. When he told those boys, he said, listen, I am now 18. I ain't never been on the beach in my life. Mm-hmm. They look like, what? Mm-hmm. He said, from I was 12, I was doing fool. If I go on the beach, someone might have killed me. I had to watch my back. I never been on the beach because I couldn't, from I was people gangbanging and I was doing all this other stuff. And had I gone on the beach, someone was going to kill me. I ain't never been out with no girlfriend. Why? Because if I go there, they're going to kill me. So I had to always stay in the house. He said, y'all don't want this. After he was finished, the boys went in their school bags and in their pockets and gave him their lunch money and say, thank you for speaking to me. That day, that young man got $300.
That's impactful.
And he said, what do I do with this money? I said, your mouth will bring you money. If you understand your testimony, your test will become something to bless you. He freaked right out. That same young man was completely transformed. Now, it's a sad story. It's a sad ending. That same young man was completely transformed. Called me and said, listen, he said, sir, I want a weed whacker. I have a lawnmower. And I just want to plow the fields and do what I could do and make my money. While he was doing his landscaping company, I said, now you do well and I'll buy you. I ain't going to just buy it for you because I want to make sure you're serious.
Yes, sir.
Do well and I'll buy you a weed whacker. And he said to me, I promise you I can do well. That brother was doing it, and after I saw him about a month just doing good work, I was getting ready to buy him a weed whacker. Somebody called him out that night and just opened fire on him and light him right up.
Wow.
On the spot. That's why we can't stop.
You said something so powerful. He stated that the young gentleman said he caused so much trouble that he couldn't go on the beach.
Yes.
He said that he was afraid to go places, to even walk with his girlfriend. You know, that story is like, I could count right now about 50 young men who live in the community that I reside in have that same problem right there.
Yes,
wow.
Yes.
You understand?
Can't go nowhere.
Can't go nowhere and they're trapped. I saw in the newspaper, I don't know if they was involved in two of my teammates, two of the younger teammates, I played with their father, and now we play on the park. Now I look in the newspaper, they won it.
Okay.
I don't know what the situation is,
Right.
But, it's just crazy out there, We need more leaders in this country. We need to invest more, and find ways we can transform the mind, not rehabilitate.
Yeah.
See, when he said transform, when Bishop talked about transformation,
yes.
and he said go back and build your community, I actually not rehabilitated myself. Yes. I transformed myself. That's why I'm transforming and building up my community that I reside in. So you're telling exactly, you said the right word, transformation. I didn't get rehabilitated.
Every morning, the boys had to get up and just say a declaration. And I made sure they say it every morning and every night.
Yes.
And that declaration is, I am so excited and grateful now that the Lord woke me up this morning. Despite where I am, this is not who I am. I am full of potential, vision, and purpose. The Lord is making provision for my next move even as I speak. Yes, many are the plans that I have, but it's the Lord's plans that will prevail. I am transformed. I am transformed. Yes. I am transformed. Ubuntu. I am because we are. In other words, nobody could get away without helping the other one with them. Yes. Everybody did it together. Everybody did it together. So there was a major transformation taking place. And that's what we're doing at this thing called Flirt, the National Men in Unity, Saving Our Nation. Come out tomorrow from 12. We have a whole list of stuff to go on, the marching bands and everything. You know, I didn't even finish that. My time almost up.
Yeah, you got a couple more.
A couple more minutes. Let me see if I can hurry up and finish that.
Dex. Go ahead. No, my Dex, please.
Yeah, let me. We have Kristen Massive is gonna be out. You know, Kristen Massive, Spy gonna be out. Boy, yes, Kristen Massive is gonna be out. Big Bro gonna be out. DJ Counselor gonna be out.
Counselor?
Leroy,
all right, you get
doing the Limbo. He's gonna be out. Peter Rounds gonna be out.
Peter
David Cox
show?
gonna be out. DJ Barry gonna be out. Wayne Wilson gonna be out. Chosen Soldiers, CR Walker Pop Band, official. We gonna have a grand time. We gonna have the karate and the jiu-jitsu.
Yes.
It's gonna be a great time. And all of the present fathers who are there.
That's
awesome. You know, and by the way, we have a young doctor who is in school. He comes out and he's a 4-year medical student right here and at University of West Indies, I think it is.
Yes, sir.
And he's gonna bring another 4 men. He's in charge of the young men, the
awesome.
young doctors. So he's going to even be out, and he's going to share, him and a couple of doctors will share what it is to be a black man in this country, learning how to be a doctor. So we having a grand time.
So the woman them, to all y'all women them, the man them stepping, the man them stepping.
Yes. All of these men coming in registering.
It's good.
The women them can come. Whenever there's a lot of men, they got women.
Okay, sound good. Mr. Stanfield, caller coming to you right now. Mr. Stanfield, you want to say anything before we go to anyone who's disabled or the family member? Again, you could give out the numbers again to come and get the application forms again if you could.
Yes. Okay. I encourage you, the family members, to bring the members to our Mary Bear tomorrow. Our National Mission for Persons with Disabilities, solid phone number is 376. Oh, sorry, what's the phone number?
We get it right. We get it.
No. Yeah. So,
I'm so glad that he's able to come and assist us.
Yes.
Now, what he does with our group is he does all the paperwork. The computer and everything. Man, he got it.
In China, they used to disable people to watch the cameras, and they don't miss a beat.
Right, because
they don't miss a beat.
Mm-hmm.
Go ahead.
Oh, hey, sorry. Our National Mission for Persons with Disabilities, telephone number is 376-8328. Check out WhatsApp or call. So please bring your family member to our event tomorrow. I don't want no person with disability at home. Please, I'm out and show who you are.
People, bring all disabled people out. Don't leave them at home. Yeah, Mr. Enfield. I want to thank you guys for doing such a wonderful job. But you have a caller, so they might want to comment. And then after that, you get 3 more minutes. And be good to go. Caller, you're on Inside in the City. Go ahead. Go ahead, caller.
Hello. Good afternoon, Scrooge. Hello.
Hey, good night.
How y'all doing?
Everything all right?
Hey, I want to say a very wonderful show you had tonight, man. You know, I wanted to say kudos to my childhood friend. I hear your voice inside.
I know this voice.
But, you know, they know you as Reverend Shadwick James. They know you as Shad. But, hey, keep up the good way of Reverend Shad, man. You know, hey, I appreciate hearing you and the things that you all are doing for the young man, man.
That's
you know,
good.
hey, Scrooge, we just talk about these things regular on your show about programs needed for the young men and things needed because we're losing too much of our young men. And I'm so proud about to see persons like you guys stepping up to help these young men because hey, if things like this do not happen,
we'll be finished.
And we be consistent with it, we can lose this country Because if the young men aren't a part of the building up of this nation, then we can't build this nation. You guys keep it up, man.
See, our guy wants to see you out, man. You got to be out tomorrow. You got to be out. I know this voice. I ain't call you by your full name. I use alias. I know your voice. I know who it is. Tomorrow at 12 o'clock, Tom the Bird Grand playing field right there. We're going to have a grand time. Come out and support.
Yeah, man. I try do my best to come out there to support, man. God, keep up the good work.
Okay,
thanks for calling.
You have a wonderful night. Yeah, Bishop James.
Yes,
so
sir.
tell me something. How long does it take you to become a bishop?
The Bible says, he who desire the office of a bishop desire a good thing.
Wow.
So the bishop's office, you would not have to worry about the process or how long you do it. But maybe because I'm qualified, the qualifications, I'm a graduate of theology and I'm a graduate of seminary and all of that other good stuff. That's just the academic side of it. But I've been pastoring now for the past 29 years.
Wow.
And we've had churches, we've set up churches in Memphis, Tennessee, Jamaica, Nigeria.
Wow. And
we've gone and ordained and commissioned pastors and consecrated them in Haiti. So the office of the bishop is it comes from the Greek word episkoposi, which means to have, to preside over or to deal specifically with administration for various churches.
Wow.
There's a difference between a bishop and an apostle. Okay. Apostle comes in, set up church and leave. The bishop comes in, set up church and have to stay to watch over them, to make sure they're doing the right thing, to make sure it's being done the right way, the ceremonial garbs and all that other stuff. So it's really, that's the office. So it's not really a length of time. It's the calling or responding to the call of the office.
Wow. I'd just like to thank you guys for just doing an outstanding job. And again, all the listening audience, you say there's no programs or no one is helping. Well, over the last few years and the last few weeks on the show, you have many programs. People who are programs, an organization or programs have extended their arms. Now you just have to walk in the office, okay, or call that number. So if you have a disabled family, Mr. Henfield just gave you the number. Bishop James just also gave you the number. He gave you his phone contact. Mr. Henfield gave you his email address. And this is a great opportunity to get some training, education, have a lot of fun that day too, because there's going to be a lot of entertainment. Yes. A lot of entertainment. So, family and friends, come out, bring your disabled ones, bring your loved ones, and just have a wonderful time. Tomorrow, at what time again?
It starts from 12 o'clock. 12:30, we should have everything all set up, and we'll take it from there. We want to cut off at about 7. But if it takes go a little further, we go a little further.
Okay.
But it does. The official opening is after 4. Why? Because we have some Sabbath keepers, the Adventists and everything. After church, we want to make sure respect them out. They could come out.
Some people Sabbath, they would come
exactly.
out. Yes.
Now the Sabbath doesn't end at 4 o'clock. The Sabbath ends when the sun goes down. But church should be out, so they should feel free to come out and be a part of that.
I want to thank you very much, Bishop.
Thank you very much for having us.
Mr. Hanfield. And Dave, you want to close out?
Well, the only thing I close it the way I always close it. I know there's a secular station, but my closing remark is always reminding us that in spite of everything in life, the most important thing is our relationship with Christ. Right. Not a church, not a denomination, but having a personal relationship with Jesus Christ.
Wow. Bishop, any last words?
Listen, we're men, we're leaders. Let's take the lead. We're the foundation, and if the foundation is removed, the whole house can crumble. That's why we've been having some crumbling. So let's get back.
Woman, we coming for you all. Woman stay and all that. No, it's going to be men now. Man stepping up.
All the man's down.
All the man, not the woman down. The woman them is doing a standing job, but the men them now are going to step up, and that's what we need, because we got a status generation to transform their minds, not rehabilitate. Rehabilitate means you will repeat if you go back in that environment. You live with a person, if you not properly transform your mind, you will go back in that environment and continue in the wrong part. But when you transform your mind, transform is exactly the word you use, because when I look at it, I thought I was rehabilitated. But when he said that, I understand what he said, because here you go and you develop. So I was able to use that transformation and look at my community and say, we need a community center, we need the parks to fit, we need to fix these abandoned houses, we need to clean up these properties, and we need to create an empowerment zone in that community. So you're quite right, Bishop. I want to thank you guys very much, and you're doing a wonderful job. I'd like to say to the Department of Gender Equality, I think Miss Bartlett, But Debbie Bartlett is there too, right?
Yes, she's there.
That's my partner
Yes,
for many
yes.
years. I'd like to say to Ms. Bartlett, you're doing a wonderful job. And I hope that the program is going to be a success. And I want to invite you guys back sometime in the near future to tell us about the progress the program is making. So feel free. When you want to give us some more information, you want to make an appearance on the show, you can contact Guardian or you can contact me myself. Bishop James, and it's a pleasure to meet you, and I thank you very much, sir.
Now I put a face to the voice.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
I believe it or not, I listen to you every Friday.
Wow, that's awesome. I can't believe it. A lot of people tell me that I'm glad I'm reaching people like that because now I'm seeing that it's helping people to actually go there and say, hey, let me make a difference, which you've been doing for many, many years. But that's great. That's what we wanted to do, reach people and encourage them to be a big brother, to help transform the minds of our males and our females in this country. Thank you very much. For taking the time to come on Guardian Radio 96.9. Till we meet again. Good night.
Good night.
Respect, you see this life in the ghetto never easy. So many hungry days break till it grieve me. But I doing the best I can, trying to turn my dollar to 100 grand. I represent the ghetto people I from Nassau, Bahamas, big up in town, bro. Boy, I from the town, bro. Don't take no back talk, no bribe or no joke. If you find fire, you definitely find smoke in town, bro. Boy, I from the town, bro. In town, I say up and running. Caliban say my show, boy, don't ever give in. 7 years of farm and watch the crops them coming. True they see a humble thing, the lion sleeping. But they ain't for no reason. Only God that I believe in, living. Watch them only passion for a season. God bless, I go weed them.
When faced with an illness like cancer, we band together, and we at Cleveland Clinic in Florida have your back. From advanced cancer treatments to extra safety measures at all of our locations, we're with you on this journey for every infusion and follow-up, for every step of the way, for every care in the world. Cleveland Clinic in Florida. Get the care you need when and where you need it. To learn more or connect with a local representative, visit clevelandclinic.org/Caribbean.
People, what you thinking? We want something different. People, what you wanting? We want local government. I can tell them no more slunking. We want see it function. I can tell them no more joking. I forgot. Going down Blue Hill Road, going down Village Road, going down Nassau Road. We want local government. We want local government. It's a road. We want local government. Shed a love. We want local government. We got call for local government.
Sign the petition and find out more information at risebahamas.net.
This is Guardian Radio 96.9 FM, Nassau, Bahamas.
La 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 la. La 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 la. La 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 la. Oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah. I represent Bahamian people. I from Nassau, Bahamas.
Good night, and we are back on Guardian Radio 96.9 FM. My producer in studio, this is another two-time Charm Kermit in studios, and we had a wonderful show just now. First off, we had Bishop Shadrach L. James in studio along with Dave and Mr. Henfield. Bishop James represents, he's a part of the Ministry of Equality, Gender and Equality at the ministry. And Dave himself is a Christian guy, and he also evangelized at the prison. And you hear about the many great things he's doing also. And as a host on Guardian Radio, it's my job to find guys who are doing programs to help stir the younger youths in the right direction and to better prepare them for the future. I want to say thanks to those guys. A little earlier in the show, we were talking about the transgender issue. And like I said, it's not a discrimination on the transgender community. It's the fact that they're talking about that they're not getting proper health care, and the fact that they're not getting proper education, and the fact that they're being mistreated. And I feel that when it comes to what I say, equality or 50-50. I think it's across the board. I think that in the Bahamas, since women had the rights to vote, we became equal, and it wasn't the blacks who were stopping the women to vote. It was actually the British administration. So it wasn't like black men were the ones who were not allowing their wives to not vote. It was the British government that was in charge of the country at that time, the Bahamas at the time, that didn't want women to vote. And once woman was able to vote, they became equal to us. So both man and woman were equal. And there's so much going on in the country. And we are being distracted. And if you listen to Donald Trump, and if you listen to him closely, come, we can bid it again with Donald Trump. It's going it. Don't worry about it. And he talked about the fact that they're bringing these programs in school that are ungodly. I wonder where the Christian council is in this, Like we say, we're not discriminating. But if you say you're going to teach transgender issues in school, the kids, you're going to change their mindset and you're going to transform their minds. Kids shouldn't have to decide. They shouldn't have the decision. For a program like that to be introduced to them in the first place, because kids are fascinated at a young age, and you can reprogram them from their sexuality, and then it'll become all right if I want to do this. But think about the consequences of those who already went through this procedure. Now, there are people who are born like that, okay? There's no discrimination against them, okay? And they're born like that, But if you look at the sports world, even the sports world is coming on them, the transgender, when it comes to sport, because they take an advantage. Especially if you're a male and then you decide to have an operation to change your sex organ and become a female, which you can never become a female. I mean, you become whatever, I don't know, you become a female, so says, or whatever it is. And then if it's a male, he takes out his penis and then, etc. He changes it. But do you know that many of them who went through this procedure, go online, go do your research. Since they want to teach these things in school, Belinda Wilson, she's not insisting. She's just saying that, she probably got set down probably by the powers to be, the international community, and they put it forward to her. She's not pushing it. Even the lady, the executive director of the LGBT, Miss Alex DeMarco, she said this about educating the kids about transgender. And she's not assisting, she's not promoting it. But like they educate kids and family members or families who have kids who are transgender or might not know they're transgender. Okay, I can understand that what Ms. Wilson is saying, but these things should not be up for discussion, especially in a country like this. If you look at the United States of America, which I'm not trying to talk bad about, but let's just be honest. With all of the laws and violation of human rights, the country is just doing whatever it wants to do, without consideration. They say, under God, and they talk about God and God we trust. Okay? But there's a lot of abomination going on in America. Okay? A lot. And it has become more like Solomon and Gomorrah. Okay? Bear in mind, we just saw Brazil. You saw this guy who ran with this pitchfork, and this guy who dressed up like Christ, and he's getting stabbed with the pitchfork, and the devil's all over him. Look what happened to those two, and look what happened to Brazil. You think that just by accident? You think these things just by accident? Like? They ain't by accident. Everything is spiritual. And when you offend the Creator and you want to do what you want and you don't go by the 10 commandments, which is 40 commandments, but you don't want to abide by none of these commandments. You just want to do your own thing. You were born a woman. You're born a man. And someone influenced you, because it deals with influence. So what Ms. Wilson is saying and what the executive director of the LGBT community, Ms. Imarco, is saying, if I pronounce it right, they're saying educate. When you expose these 5, 6 years old to this kind of education by bringing people in to teach kids about something that it's going to be like, hey, hold on. My mom and dad made me. Okay? My mom and dad made me. Now you're going to teach the kid now it's okay now to be born a male, to be born a female, and to go have an operation to change your sex organ, and it's all good when you're never going to have no children. Who's going to carry in your name? As you get older, right? If you don't have no children, right? Who's going to carry your name when you get older? Who's going to take care of you? Okay? Because when you change your sex organ, you're not going to be able to have no children. And then you're talking about health care, okay, and discrimination. You must remember now, you're not going to be a normal woman and you're not going to be a normal man. Your medication is going to be very expensive over the course of your life. You're going to be in pain. You're going to have to keep on having operations and taking injections. This is what you want to go through. And this is what I hope you're going to teach the kids this in school, that when you decide to do this, how much money you're going to spend. Okay? So you can't ask the government of the country to pay for your health care. Yes, the government will pay for a normal citizen, a man or woman. But if you decide to say you're going to change your organ, that's on you. And don't try to put it on us as citizens. Like I said, I don't discriminate. I'm not discriminating against nobody out there. But I'm a straight up man. I love women. Okay? I don't like no other man. I love man like friend. And some I love. But I mean I love, they're people who I'm close with. And if something happened to them, it would hurt me in my heart because I know there's a good person. That kind of love. Okay? I love women. Okay? So I understand what Ms. Wilson is saying. She's not insisting that it happened, but she still is doing a disservice because even the idea of teaching the kids about transgender, teach them about the consequences of having an operation, and go online and teach them online what happens to persons who do this operation. Ask them if they're happy. Ask them the pain they go through. And ask them how much money they spend. And you'll hear many of them regret. Go online. Any one of you, even if there's a transgender, there are people listening, go online and see how many people who have done the operation wish they didn't cut off their penis, or wish the female wish they didn't alter themselves. We're going to take this call. Go ahead, caller. You're on Inside the Inner City.
Good day. Scrooge, sorry to call you back, man.
Go ahead.
But, when it comes to this, some transgender situation, we in the Bahamas, we need to be honest, right, and shame the devil, right? We know what being forced on us, right? Just like how, in some ways, Christianity was forced on us, right?
Yes.
This is just another strategy of our colonial masters, right? Led by the United States of America, with toting the gun, right? Because these people literally going around everywhere where they have their embassies and demanding countries
to do what they want,
implement this insane, ungodly act, right? And when you refuse to do it,
sanctions?
They sanction you.
Yes.
Or they try to make you feel like how they made our ancestors felt when they didn't want to receive Christianity. It's the same thing over and over in this world, right? But we have to
fight against it. Our citizens.
Our citizens have to stand up like the citizens in Africa are standing up against this
agenda.
Because what type of people in their right minds can
teach kids?
Can teach kids?
Teach kids now.
Procreate. Our ancestors, right? The Bible teaches us to honor our
mothers and fathers.
If our mothers and our fathers were lesbians and gay, we couldn't have been here.
There wouldn't be no population.
It wouldn't have been no population. So we are. This is a despicable, disgraceful situation that has been orchestrated by America and NATO and all of those white countries were determined that, look, we have to find a way to keep the black population at a minimum, and if we could influence their children to not reproduce, then we have an opportunity to continue dominating these people. Wake up, my black people, because why? That is not our culture. It never was. And we behemoths have to stand up because, hey, I believe we love America so much to the point that anything America does, we endorse it as something good. Wake up, behemoth people. We are right next to the beast. Have a nice day.
You have a nice night. You said a mouthful. And yes, like I say, America's our neighbors. But that don't necessarily mean we have to incorporate everything they're doing. And why we want our country. You know, if you want to be a transgender, be a transgender. If you want to take the operation and have your operation to move your penis or your vagina, that's on you, okay? That's on you. You can't get no more special treatment. Now we're here, Ms. Wilson, like I said, Ms. Wilson and LGB executive director, I listen to them good. They are not really pushing it on their talks, but just the idea alone is crazy, you know, to teach our kids. So when the kids don't go before the teacher and you're going to bring a person in there, what they're going to say to the kids? This is a family life. This is what I should do. I'm a young girl. I see what I see, and I want to change my organ. What about husband and wife and boyfriend and girlfriend having children? Any days are going to come up, because they definitely can't come up when we have this program that Ms. Wilson is insinuating, and the executive of the LGB are trying to, you know, talk on it. You know, they not really want to talk on it because they know it's a hot topic, and I'm going to say this now. Listen, you all better look at what's happening around the world, you know. The Tigris River, the Bible's fulfilling, right? And you all people still talking about allowing demons to possess in human bodies. Huh? The human body, the demons need a human body, like Miles Monroe said. And any human body that is foul, violence means that you have no principle, you're vulgar. You'd walk the road naked, you're sleeping with man, you'd sleep with dog, you don't have no type of principle, you don't have no respect for nobody, you just want to live your life and do what you want, you know? And if you look at nations and people who live like that, it resembles Solomon and Gomorrah, okay? And when the whole world became like this, the Father flooded the earth. And there's no one out there. There's no one who can say there wasn't a great flood. Because the evidence are overwhelming around the world. Okay, the evidence is there. Where all the ice is, the Sahara Desert, Yellowstone Park, they're finding shark teeth, fish fossil. In Russia and Siberia, they're finding prehistoric mammoths and animals that being extinct, mosquitoes and bacteria. You know, they're finding things on wall that man has been here millions of years. Giants were here, and the Father flood died because man were wicked. We just doing what we want to do. I was a wicked person too. You understand? Until I realized what I was doing wrong, and I correct myself. And to do these things, our citizens has to talk about, introduce transgender education to the schools. Why are we introducing marriage to the school and small business and how to make money in school? We can take this last call. Go ahead, caller. You're on Inside Inner City.
Scrooge, good night. How you doing?
I'm fine.
Scrooge, always a pleasure to give my sentiments on your show.
Go ahead, sir.
The previous caller has said something very poignant. In fact, he made several salient points that needs to be taken in consideration. My biggest thing is, how can anyone be offended when what they are trying to push forward is not logical? We grew up, you see, everyone has opinions.
Yes,
I agree. But there are just some things that transcends opinions. It's factual.
Yes, sir.
God has created man and woman perfect beings.
Yes, sir.
All right? This is why one of the first orders God gave man was to procreate and replenish the earth.
Yes, sir.
How can you go and talk about switch genders when men have their role
and women
have their role, and you're talking about switching their roles, whereas a woman cannot bring about sperms, a man cannot bring about eggs. You're talking about switching them. So how is the reprocreation supposed to occur?
So you teach us church.
You see, when you're fooling around with God's ordinance,
yes, sir,
you're bringing damnation to yourself. Now, in the States, you notice that some of the schools now are also speaking up against this because they talk about the unfair advantages even in sports, where the transgender is changing their physical physiology, or even down to their molecular
structure
side of it. They're trying to alter it, whereas they become something that they are not.
Yes.
We all know that alpha male, the physical male, is a strong creature, if I can use that term.
Yes, sir.
Strong in terms of the physical attributes to do certain things that most women cannot do.
Yes, sir.
Such as strength.
Yes.
Men have a lot of strength that we are responsible for doing a whole lot of things that the physical woman is
not
incapable
of doing. Yes.
Okay? So, and then likewise, the nurturing aspect of a woman. Yes, some men can be nurturing, but not to the aspect of how a woman can nurture. So, in other words, what I'm trying to say is we all have our unique characteristics
combined
that
together,
make us exactly male and female. And you know what's so sad about the Scrooge?
Go ahead, sir. The church is
silent on it.
Where the Christian Council all is hard.
Where is the church? You know why they're silent?
Why?
Because so many of them themselves are conflicted and also complicit in this nonsense.
Because they mix up
because it's in the church.
Yes,
I
agree.
It's supposed to be the moral compass of any society.
Yes.
The church.
Yes, sir.
You see, they have this thing about there's supposed to be a separation between church and state.
Yes, sir.
That's hogwash. The rules and the laws of any country, if you really look at Scripture, the majority of them come from the Scriptures.
Yes, sir.
So where is there the separation of church and state?
The
church is responsible for bringing about being the moral authority to any government. And right now, the church in this country is weak because the things that they are supposed to be focused on, they're not fully focused. They're silent on the critical things that they need to be speaking to, and not just speaking to, but also living the truth that God has ordained. And many of them are not living that truth. That's why we get false doctrines. That's why the children and the family structure is being destroyed because they are not doing what they're supposed to be doing. And I'll close on this one point, Scrooge.
Go ahead, sir.
Because, in a sense, this thing gets you very angry.
It should.
Okay? We grew up in a country where God is the supreme being over all of us here. We have allowed influences around the world to come here, embed themselves, destroy our culture, destroy the way that we serve God. And what have we have here now? Calamity. Yes. And we allow our leaders to allow these people on the outside to influence us into these nonsense when we're supposed to be a unique people.
Cause us get destroyed.
We're supposed to be a people where the rest of the world would want to envy, would want to
emulate us and be us.
Exactly, emulate us and use us as a standard. Yes. What we have done, we have failed in the mission because too many of our leaders have allowed other people around the world to bring garbage to this country to destroy us for the unique people that we are. Yes. Scrooge, thanks for taking my call, and I encourage every Bahamian, lift up your head to the rising sun.
Yes. Like I said, the Bahamas Christian Council, y'all are a big disappointment. Y'all want to talk on other subjects, but when they're trying to bring programs in the school to teach our kids about transgender. Well, tell them this. When you want to bring this program of transgender, tell them look up at the majority of transgender now who are this operation. And listen what they're saying now. They're sorry they take out their vagina. They're sorry they take out their penis. Some of them complain they have to take medication for the rest of their days. Okay? Feeling all kind of pain. Okay? When they take the operation, they said who changed the vagina. They are, excuse me for speaking a little off, their soul vagina closes up. So they have to keep on going to the hospital. Okay? So that's why they saying they ain't get no medical health. Because their medical health is very expensive. Remember, they have to buy pills and all this stuff that the doctors who do the operation, have to diagnose them and give them these things for infection and this and that and crumbs and this and that and all kind of stuff. Okay? So you can imagine, you as a man, you change to a female, woman is of their period. So now, what is going to make up for that man who trying a woman? Man, it's just, I can't even think about, are they going to use part? Man, listen, this thing all, man, this thing, listen. And you're going to teach your kids this? Huh? Ms. Wilson, I know you're the president of Teachers Association, but it's an abomination you're speaking on, and you're doming the Bahamas. Like I say, I'm not discriminating against nobody out there who's a transgender. If you want to go and change your sex, that's on you. But to come out and say that we got to pass laws to protect you, no, sir, you's an alien. When they talk about alien, well, you's an alien because you're a new species. Okay? You hear what it is? Transgender. Okay? I's a male, and I know what female. Okay? So I hope you enjoyed the show. Oh, I got to say something real quick. Oh, sorry. Come on, let me say this real quick. I forget to send this message to my friend. Sorry about the comment. I just want to give a public announcement. Something happened in the Mason. I was supposed to send it. I think I have about a second. Come on, baby. Let me find it. I'm sorry. I'm dead late. I forgot. I was talking so much. Okay. I also got to support my neighboring community. The Mason Edition, we having their Big Sister initiative. The Big Brothers program was created out of the necessary means to give back and bring a sense of village that was lacking in the Mason Edition community. It was formatted 13 years ago. Let me see here. The chairman is my boy Christopher Richardson, and I want to see the date. All right. Okay. I'm sorry. I got it right here. I just want to see the date. I think it's tomorrow or next week, Saturday. They'll be having an event. They'll be having a basketball tournament, eats and drinks. So please, I'm trying to get the date, man. Okay. He sent it to me, man. I'm sorry, Kermit. I'm sorry. I get it right here. I just trying to get the date. Okay. It's April 7, 2023. Starts at 12 noon on the Father Marshall Park, Mason Edition. Yes. Starts April 7, 2023. I think that's Saturday at the Father Marshall Park. They're going to have a lot of events out there. So please come out and show their support. It's going to be a fun-filled event for the Mason Edition area. We're going to bring some kids from the HQ area to come over and be a part of the basketball tournament. And that is sponsored by Mr. Christopher Richardson, the Big Brother and Big Sister Initiative, Mason Edition. Okay, again, 7th April, 2023. Okay? Yeah, and I want to thank my producer for giving me a few more minutes, and that's it for the show tonight. And again, I'm not against no transgender. If you're going to educate the kids about transgender, educate them about what is going to happen to you after you do this operation and how much it's going to cost you to have medical assistance. You know, because you're asking for medical help. So when you're asking for medical, let them know that when you're asking for medical help, that is on you. The Bahamas government provide medical help for many of the Bahamian citizens, but when you go and do the surgery, that is like, I don't know, $2 million on, the something would cost $10,000. But your own, you have to get pills and shots and this and that and etc. and go through procedures throughout your life. Since you change your organ, it will cost millions and we can't afford it. So that's why they're asking for health care in the country. See you next week. I would like to say thanks again to Bishop Shadrach James, Dave, and Mr. Hanfield, who's in studio, to my producer, Kermit. And next week on Inside the Industry on Guardian Radio 96.9. I'm Valentino Brown. Enjoy your Friday, and hope you enjoyed the show.